Hello students and friends. Welcome to Homeopathy Medicines. Today in this homeopathic Materia Medica lesson, I will discuss about homeopathic medicine NATRUM PHOSPHORICUM. Before starting this video, please subscribe to this channel for Learn Homeopathy Online Free and Homeopathy Materia Medica. We need support from you to make this channel more beautiful and more informative. Now going to discuss about NATRUM PHOSPHORICUM, its uses and symptoms. NATRUM PHOSPHORICUM is the remedy for conditions arising from excess of lactic acid, often resulting from too much sugar. Ailments, with excess of acidity. Sour eructations and taste. Sour vomiting. Yellow, creamy coating at the back of the roof of mouth and tongue. Inflammation of any part of the throat, with sensation of a lump in throat. Flatulence, with sour risings. Colic, with symptoms of worms. Cracking of joints. Jaundice, one extrait. Oxaluria. Mind, imagines, on waking at night, that pieces of furniture are persons, that the hears footsteps in next room. Fear. Head, feels dull in the morning, full feeling and throbbing. Eyes, discharge of golden yellow, creamy matter from the eyes. Dilation of one pupil. Whites of eyes dirty yellow. Ears, one ear red, hot, frequently itchy, accompanied by gastric derangements and acidity. Nose, offensive odor. Itching of nose. Nasopharyngeal catarrh, with thick, yellow, offensive mucus. Face, paleness of bluish, florid appearance of face. Mouth, canker sores of lip and cheeks. Blisters on tip of tongue, with stinging in evening. Thin, moist coating on the tongue. Yellow, creamy coating at the back part of the roof of the mouth. Dysphagia. Thick, creamy membrane over tonsils and soft palate. Stomach, sour eructations, sour vomiting, greenish diarrhea. Spits mouthful of food. Male, emissions without dreams, with weakness in back and trembling in limbs. Desire without erection. Gonorrhea. Female, menses too early, pale, thin, watery. Sterility, with acid secretions from vagina. Leucorrhea, discharge creamy or honey-colored, or acid and watery. Sour-smelling discharges from uterus. Morning sickness, with sour vomiting. Extremities, rheumatism of the knee joint. Back, weariness, aching in wrists and finger joints. Hamstrings sore. Synovial crepitation. Rheumatic arthritis. Skin, yellow. Itching in various parts, especially of ankles. Hives. Smooth, red, shining. Erysipelas. Feet icy cold in daytime, burn at night. Swelling of lymphatic glands. We are not dependent upon Schussler alone for indications for this remedy, as we have many pathogenetic symptoms. Schussler's indications were good and mostly confirmed by clinical observations. The author has given this remedy for 20 years to many patients whose nerves were in a fret from mental exertion and sexual excesses and vices. The symptoms are worse in the morning, evening and night, and after midnight. There is marked anemia and aversion to the open air. He is aggravated from a draught, from open air, from cold, from becoming cold and after becoming cold, and there is a tendency to frequent taking cold. He is worse from changes in the weather. Sclerosis. Aversion to bathing. Many symptoms come on after coition. He may be a sexual debauchee. Copyright. Many symptoms come on from fasting, and he is generally ameliorated after eating. He is aggravated from any physical exertion. His muscles are flabby, and he is losing flesh. He is disturbed by butter, cold drinks, cold food, fats, fruit, milk, sour things and vinegar. Formication externally and internally. There is great physical irritability, and later a marked lack of reaction. Many symptoms are aggravated from a jar, or stepping. There is marked lassitude in the morning in hot weather. Constant desire to lie down. Prolonged weakness from loss of fluids. Lying on left side aggravates many symptoms. Worse before and after menses. During menses the symptoms are aggravated afternoon and evening. Numbness in single parts. orgasm of blood, stitching, tearing pains, aggravated during a thunderstorm, pulsation all over the body. Sensation as though a shot was forced through the arteries is a verified symptom. Oversensitive in general, and to pain. Shocks through the body, in night while awake. Sitting aggravates. General aggravation during a thunderstorm. Tension in muscles and tendons. Trembling in thunderstorm. Twitching of muscles. Nervous and paralytic weakness aggravated in morning, and after exertion. The body smells sour, like pepper, like anger over trifles, and complaints from vexation. Anxiety evening and night, in bed, before midnight, after eating, with fear, during fever, about the future, about his health, on waking. Complaints from bad news. Aversion to company. Concentration difficult. Confusion of mind in the morning, in the evening, after eating, from mental exertion, on waking. Delusions, frightful, thinks he sees dead people, images, thinks he is going to have typhoid fever, that he hears footsteps in the next room. Discontented, discouraged, and easily distracted. Dullness of mind while reading. Mental exertion brings on many complaints. He is very excitable. Fear at night, of impending disease, that something will happen, of misfortune, on waking. Fears bad news. Forgetful. Easily frightened, and heedless. She is hysterical, and in a hurry. No one works fast enough to suit him. Sometimes his ideas are abundant, and again deficient, and his mind grows sluggish. Impatience. He is indifferent to everything, even to his family. A gradually increasing indolence, a dread of mental and physical work. Irritability, in the morning, during menses, about trifles. Memory weak. Times of mirthfulness. Great prostration of mind. Restless and anxious evening and night. Sadness in evening, after emission, during fever, and from music. He is extremely sensitive to music and noise and to his surroundings. He grows serious and silent, and sits by himself quite still for a long time. Is easily startled, from fright, from noise, on falling asleep, and during sleep. Spells of stupefaction creep over him. His friends call him suspicious. Indisposed to talk. His thoughts wander. He is growing timid and bashful. Weeps easily. Mental work becomes impossible and he seems to be approaching imbecility. Vertigo in the morning, aggravated from mental exertion, while sitting and walking. Tendency to fall. Congestion in the evening. Heat in head and evening, in forehead and vertex. Flushes of heat after sweat. Tension in the scalp. Eruptions on the head of golden yellow scabs, eczema on the forehead. Fullness in forehead, over the eyes, in the morning, aggravated by mental exertion. Heaviness of the head, and the hair falls out. Pain in the head, morning, afternoon, evening and night, aggravated binding up the hair, after eating, must lie down, aggravated from lying, before, during and after menses, mental exertion, after sour milk, motion of head, noise, rising from lying, in a room, sexual excesses, after sleep, after stooping, straining eyes, during a thunderstorm, while walking, warm room, ameliorated in open air, by pressure. The headaches are periodical, pulsating. Pain in forehead aggravated from mental exertion, from motion, over eyes, in occiput, sides of head, temples, in vertex on waking in morning, in vertex and forehead. The pains are bursting, cutting in temples and sides of head, drawing in head and occiput, pressing with sour slimy vomiting, pressing in forehead, outward, over eyes, pressing in occiput, and sides of occiput, pressing in temples, pressing in vertex as if it would open. Stitching in head, in forehead, in sides of head, in temples. Stunning in head and forehead. Tearing in head. Perspiration of forehead. Pulsating in head, forehead, temples and vertex. Shocks in the head. Twitching. Uncovering the head brings on the symptoms. Dryness of the eyes. Creamy yellow discharges. Heaviness of the lids. inflammation of the eyes, scrofulous ophthalmia, and granular lids, itching and burning of the lids and margin of the lids, burning lacrimation, must rub the eyes, pain in the eyes when reading, burning and cutting, pressing during menses, pain as though sand in eyes, sore, bruised feeling when reading, stitching pain in eyes, paralysis of the optic nerve, photophobia, pupils dilated, one pupil dilated, quivering of right eyelid while reading, staring, strabismus, swollen lids, yellow sclerotics, colors before the eyes, dark, halo around the light, dim vision for distant objects, foggy vision, blindness, exertion of vision aggravates many symptoms, flickering before the eyes morning on rising, at 5 p.m. Mist before the eyes aggravated in gaslight at 8 p.m. Myopia. Sparks before the eyes. Eruption on the ears. Creamy hue on the ears. Fullness in ears. Heat and redness of one ear. Itching in the ears. Lobe of right ear burning and itching, must scratch it until it bleeds. Noises in ears, with vertigo, humming, ringing, roaring, rushing, singing, whizzing. Pain in ear. Aching in right meatus. Burning. Stitching in and behind ear. Tearing. Pulsation. Stopped sensation. The hearing is acute for voices, impaired, lost. The patient is subject to fluent coryza, and catarrh of the nose with thick yellow purulent discharge. Epistaxis on blowing the nose. Fullness at the root of the nose. The nose is obstructed with mucus and crusts, but the discharge is generally scanty. Offensive odors in the nose in the morning. Ozana. Pricking in the left nostril brings tears to the eyes. Smell is acute. Soreness in the left nostril. He picks the nose constantly and scales form. Frequent sneezing. Tension over the root of the nose. Discoloration of the face, bluish, circles around the eyes, earthy, pale, red blotches but not feverish, red alternating with paleness, yellow, liver spots, white about nose and mouth. Eruptions on the face, on the chin, forehead, lips, about the mouth, on the nose. Pimples on the forehead. Pustules on the face. Heat in the evening, during chill. The face burns. Itching of the face and nose. Pain in the face, burning, neuralgic. Shooting in the right cheek. Soreness in the right lower jaw at angle, darting through it. Stitching. Swelling of the glands of the lower jaw. Swelling of the submaxillary gland. Bleeding gums. The tongue is coated yellow. Yellow at the base, or dirty white. Roof of mouth coated golden yellow or creamy. Dryness of mouth and tongue. Salivation. Sensation of a hair on the tongue, followed by prickly numbness of whole mouth. Speech difficult. Stinging on the tongue. Taste bad on waking, bitter, metallic, saltish, sour. Vesicles in mouth and on tongue. Caries of the teeth. Grinding the teeth during sleep in children. Looseness of the teeth. Pain in the teeth, at night, ameliorated by pressure and external warmth. Burning, pressing and pulsating. Throat and tonsils coated yellow. Dryness of the throat. Mucus forms in throat, tough clear white mucus in posterior nares. Thick yellow mucus drops from posterior nares, aggravated at night, must sit up to clear the throat. Sensation of a lump in throat. Much hawking. Inflammation of throat. Pain in throat on swallowing. Sore throat on right side, aggravated swallowing. Burning, picking, stitching. Pulsation in left tonsil. Scraping mucus from posterior nares. Swallows liquids better than solids in sore throat. The appetite is increased, ravenous or wanting. Aversion to food, to meat, to milk, to bread and butter. Desires alcoholic drinks, beer, pungent food, eggs, fried fish, cold drinks. The stomach is disordered by fat and milk. Emptiness, aggravated after eating. Eructation after eating, empty, sour, water brash. Fullness after eating. Heartburn, heaviness and pressure. Heat in the stomach. nausea in the morning, evening, during cough, and during headache. Pain in the stomach, after eating, 2 hours after eating, cramping, gastralgia, several attacks every day with vomiting sour fluids, oversecretion of lactic acid. Gnawing in the stomach. Pressing after eating. Soreness and stitching. Retching. Extreme thirst. Ulceration of the stomach. Sour vomiting. Creamy coating on the tongue. Sour odor of the body. Vomiting on coughing, with headache, of bile, bitter, frothy with headache, of mucus, sour in infants fed on milk, sour cheesy masses in intermittent fever, in pregnancy, vomiting yellow, green. Distension of the abdomen after eating. Sensation of emptiness, after stool. Flatulence, obstinate, after eating. Fullness, gurgling and hardness. Pain afternoon and night, after eating, paroxysmal, before stool. Pain in hypochondria. Burning in abdomen. Cramping before stool, causing urging to stool, while walking. Cutting in abdomen. Pressing in the hypogastrium. Soreness in the whole abdomen. Stitching in the abdomen and in liver. Torpid liver. Rumbling. Tension. Constipation with difficult hard stool. Inactivity of the rectum, one day constipated, next day diarrhea. Diarrhea morning, night, with colic, after eating, in summer, with flatus. The anus is excoriated, much flatus, involuntary stools, involuntary when passing flatus. Sore, itching anus, aggravated in the warmth of the bed. Pain in the rectum after stool. Burning during and after stool. Painful contraction of anus. Cutting during stool. Stitching on walking. Tenesmus. Urging to stool after coition, in a man. Urging ineffectual, unsatisfactory. Weak feeling in the rectum before stool. The stool is bloody, cheesy, crumbling, light-colored, bilious stool, green, jelly-like masses, pasty, sour-smelling stools, thin yellowish-brown stool, watery, yellowish-green, yellowish-brown. Worms with the stool. Paralysis of the bladder. Pressing pain in the bladder before urination. Urging to urinate at night, after coition, man, after eating, constant, frequent. Dysuria. Urination frequent, at night, during perspiration, involuntary, night, during sleep. Must wait for urine to start. Must press a long time before urine starts. Unsatisfactory. Urination. Stitching pain in the kidneys. Emission of prostatic fluid during stool. Enlarged prostate. Burning in the urethra during the flow of urine. After stool burning and itching of the meatus. The urine is albuminous, burning, cloudy, dark, pale, copious night and morning, offensive, scanty, with mucus settlement. Erections are troublesome morning and night, continued, frequent, incomplete, painful, without desire, violent, wanting. Vesicles upon the genitalia. Itching of the scrotum, prepuce and anus. Pain in the spermatic cords and testes. Drawing in spermatic cords. Pressing in testes. Seminal emission after coition, without dreams, without erections, frequent, unconscious. Sexual passion diminished, or increased, without erection, vomiting. Swelling of penis and testes. Desire increased in the female. Leukorrhea after menses, acrid, copious, creamy, honey-colored, sour-smelling, yellow and watery. Menses absent, copious, too frequent, late, pale, painful, protracted. Prolapsus of the uterus with a weak sinking feeling after stool. Sterility. Soreness in trachea. Hoarseness and loss of voice. Respiration is asthmatic, difficult, short and sighing. Cough afternoon, evening in bed, night, during chill, constant, with coryza, after drinking. Dry evening cough with expectoration in the morning. Hacking, hollow, short, racking cough, with irritation in chest or larynx. Loose morning cough. Tickling in larynx and chest. Violent cough. Cough aggravated while sitting. Expectoration in the morning, bloody, greenish, mucus, offensive, purulent, thick, viscid, yellow, tasting flat, putrid, salty. Anxiety in the chest, a bubble starts from the heart and passes through the arteries. Constriction of the chest. Empty sensation in the chest after eating. Pimples on the chest. Sudden feeling of fullness in the upper part of the chest. Oppression of the chest. Pain in the chest after dinner, from deep breathing, during cough. Pain in the heart. Aching, pressing in the chest. Burning deep in the chest, aggravated, on the right side, evening in bed. Cutting, pressing. Rawness in chest on coughing. Soreness in chest. Stitching in the chest, sides of chest, aggravated in left side. Palpation, anxious, after eating, aggravated from noise, lying on the left side, during a thunderstorm, phthisis florida in young people. Trembling of heart, after menses, on ascending stairs. Heavy dragging in the back. Itching of the skin of the back. Pain in the back at night, during menses, on motion, from sexual excesses, while seeing. Pain in the dorsal region, left scapula, between scapulae. Pain in lumbar region, during menses. Pain in sacrum, during menses. Aching in back during menses in lumbar region. Sore bruised back and spine. Spinal irritation. Burning in lumbar region and in the spine. Drawing in the back. Sharp pain in right sacroiliac junction. Stitching in lumbar region. Perspiration of the back. Stiffness both sides of neck. Swelling of the glands of the neck. Weakness of the back toward evening, in the lumbar region, after emissions. Cold hands, legs and feet. Feet icy cold during menses, in daytime, burn at night in bed. Contraction of extensors in forearm while writing. Sore stinging corns. Cramp in calves and feet. Cramp in hands, while writing. Cracking in joints. Eruption on limbs, vesicles, pimples and vesicles on lower limbs, pimples on nates, eczema of ankles. Formication of upper limbs and of feet. Heat of hands and feet. Heaviness of limbs, of lower limbs, legs and feet. Itching of limbs, upper limbs, lower limbs, ankles. Numbness of limbs, upper limbs, right hand and arm, of fingers, right fingers, of feet. Pain in the limbs. Gouty, rheumatic joints, wrist. Rheumatic pain in shoulder, right. Pain in leg, calf, ankle, ball of foot, first toe. Bruised pain in limbs, lower limbs, knee, leg. Burning hands and soles. Crampy pain in left hand and index finger. Drawing in forearm, wrist during menses, hand, joints, left shoulder, hip and knee. Pressure in shoulder. Stitching in shoulder and fingers, in hip, thigh, knee, soles, heel. Tearing in limbs, joints, upper limbs, shoulder, upper arm, elbow, fingers, lower limbs, hip, knee, leg, foot, toes. Perspiration of hands and feet. Restless legs. Shortening of tendons in hollow of knee, also after menses. Stiffness of joints. Swelling of fingers, of lower limbs, of feet. Tension in hamstrings and calf. Trembling in hands, in knees after emissions. Twitching of muscles. Weakness of upper limbs, of hands, of right wrist and left ankle after menses, of lower limbs, thighs, ankles. Weakness of ankles in children, Nat. C. Sudden giving way of legs while walling. Very deep sleep. The patient is a great dreamer. Dreams anxious, amorous, of dead people, distressing, of previous events, of fire, frightful, nightmare, pleasant, vexatious and vivid. Falling asleep in the chair. The sleep is restless. Sleepiness all day and after dinner, most in forenoon. Sleepless before midnight, after midnight, from crowding of thoughts. Sleepiness, yet cannot sleep. Unrefreshing sleep. Wakeful from 12 to 3 a. At. Waking early, 5 a.m., unrested. Waking late. Coldness in evening in bed, in cold air. Chilliness in evening, during menses, after eating. Shaking chill. one-sided coldness, internal chill, fever, flushes of heat and headache every afternoon, cannot get to sleep, feels so hot. Fever with sweat during sleep. Intermittent fever with vomiting of sour masses, perspiration in the daytime, in afternoon, during the night. Anxious sweat. Cold sweat, perspiration on coughing, on slight exertion. Profuse sweat in the morning and during the night with great nervous weakness. Sour smelling sweat. The infant smells sour. Biting, burning or coldness of the skin. Liver spots, red spots, yellow spots and jaundiced skin. Dry skin. Dry, burning eruptions, blisters, boils, burning, desquamating, moist, dry, herpetic, painful, phagedenic, pimples, golden yellow scales, suppurating, urticaria, vesicular. Eczema with honey-colored discharge. Erysipelas. Excoriation. Formication. Freckles. Gnawing pain in skin. Inactivity of the skin. Itching, biting, burning, crawling, creeping, stinging, ameliorated by scratching, aggravated by warmth of bed. Sensitive skin. Sore feeling in the skin. Sticking in skin. Swelling of skin, of affected parts. Dropsical skin. Ulcerative pain. Ulcers, biting, burning, crawling, deep, discharge offensive and yellow, fistulous, inflamed, red areola, sensitive, stinging, suppurating, swollen, unhealthy. Unhealthy skin. Warts. Thanks for watching this video. If you want more videos like NATRUM PHOSPHORICUM, please subscribe to this channel and press the bell icon. To learn homeopathy course online free with Homeopathy Materia Medica. Comment us your feedback and what you want in the next video. Like and share this video with your friends and family. For paid and free consultancy online, visit homeopathymedicines.com and mashclinic.com. Thank you. Have a nice day. Stay healthy, stay happy.